Thank you so much. There's been so many people that have contributed and made this day so special, and a lot of that is our family. Denise especially. Big round of applause for Denise. It's so beautiful, so perfect, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. I want to thank my bride too, because she put in so many hours planning this wedding. So thank you, Kierstin. I love you. And it's just all the family, my parents, and just their contributions and time and effort and love. And also our community at Neighborhood Church. We had so many people bless us with their gifts and talents. The cake, just wedding planning in general, and also helping us with the staying on track of everything today, and just so many people helping in all these individual ways. So thank you guys so much, and you know who you are. You've given us so much, and this has just been a wonderful day. We're going to look back on years from now and just smile because of all your hard effort. So thank you so much, and we love you all.
I just want to say thanks to everybody. This was an effort of wow. I'm going to cry now. Here you go. It's amazing how many people went above and beyond for us this whole entire time, and we're so blessed. And I just want to say, I'm following your lead. Growing up, Kierstin and I were kind of a unique thing, and it's funny how we always sat down and visited about how we could see God in our lives, and really God walked with Kierstin so many times in her life, and we just always would visit about that, and this is like his best blessing. I'm so excited.
Almost 30 years ago, worked all day, went to a late meeting, church thing, come home at 11 o'clock, Deb's still up, which is unusual. But I go down in the other end of the house to look at my three angelic kids, Abby, Grace, and Gabe, asleep. I go to Deb and say, "You have three of the most beautiful kids." And she said, "Well, I'm glad you think so. Look at this." And it was the pregnancy test for Joel. Anyway, he's a great kid. Kierstin, we have so enjoyed meeting your family. The Stolzenbergs have been so generous and so supportive and opened both of their houses to us and everything. And I really appreciate that. And it has been a real pleasure for Deb and I to go along the way in the last 2 years or so and see the spirit of their relationship grow, because it's founded in Christ. And it has been a true blessing for us. Don't you think, Deb?
All right, Jenny Stolzenberg, maid of honor. Here she is.
All right. Again, thank you everyone for coming today. We appreciate you being here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jenny. I'm Kierstin's cousin, but I've known Kierstin, and we're sisters. I can never see her less than that. I've known her my whole life. Sadly, she had a few years, miserable years without me. But in that time, we have definitely made up. So Joel got to spend some of this precious time with us this past Christmas. And it was very hectic, but I knew I had to check this guy out. Like, she was bringing him home, so it was serious. I walked in, said my hellos, and there he was. And I thought to myself, look at this goofball. But not 5 minutes later, I was just, dang it, I like this guy. And so as the holiday went on, I got to see Kierstin at her happiest. I saw all the laughs and smiles, and it was to this goofball, goddammit. And I love him for that. Kierstin, you mean so much to me. You don't realize how much of a role model you me. And all I can ask of this earth is that you be so happy. And Joel, you do that for her. And that is all I can ever ask of you. God damn it, get here.
That's a wrap.
Thank you.
And now the best man. He agreed. 30 seconds. Best man, that was generous. 30 seconds, that was stingy. So, I want to share a few things with you, and some of them are best man material, and some of them are, I just want to say, special welcome. First of all, I want you to know, my name's Gabe, you don't need to know that, but I want you to know, this is my kid brother, Joel. I've grown up with him, I've been his older brother. He has been my closest friend, longest relationship that I've had, and I've enjoyed that so much. So I want to tell you this right now, before I start talking about you, everything that I say about you, I want you to know, I truly love you. But it's coming. I got married, and Joel was my best man, and he got to give this speech, and I still remember exactly what he said. You see, I said, would you give a toast? And Joel heard, would you give a roast? I felt the heat. And I thought, you know what? When it's my turn, he's going to get it. And I had to wait 10 stinking years for that to happen. Celebrated 10 years, so I'm ready, and he did. But before I get into that, I do want to say this. Not only do I love you, Joel, but Kierstin, there's been a family saying that is actually generations old. And I want to be the first person to tell you this from our family, and I hope you hear it lots and lots over and over. And it's this. I am so happy that we married you. We are so thankful. No, really. We think that Joel found an excellent wife, and we praise the Lord for you. So excited for your relationship. Because the truth is, it didn't have to end this way. Over the years, those 10 years, and even before those 10 years, I wondered. I wasn't the only one in our family. We wondered. We even talked about it this weekend. We sat down, had a family conversation. So I thought it'd be good to share a few times that we wondered about you, Joel. The first time, I want to take you way back to Joel's childhood. I mean, he was very, very young. He's 2.5 years younger than me. I know he looks older, but he's 2.5 years younger than me. And we had to be really, really young, and we loved a great experience. We went every year camping with my dad's parents, and they'd pick us up, and we'd jump in the camper and go camping for a week. And I remember the last day that we would go camping, my grandmother would send us to the campground showers. And so all of us boys, the cousins, ran to the shower. I was young, I was maybe 6 or 7, and I remember taking a shower, for the first time, it felt like in a year, and we were getting our clothes back on, we're all clean, and we run through the campground all the way back to where my grandparents were, almost through the entire thing. And I remember seeing everybody that was eating dinner that night just stop and stare at us as we ran by. And I thought, oh my goodness, we're famous. Like, we've been here a whole week and everybody knows us, the cool kids on the block. And then we get back to our campsite, and my grandmother comes out of the camper, and I see her eyes wide open. And she looked like this. And I was like, what's going on? My grandmother knows me. Why is she reacting like that? And I look behind me, and there's Joel in his shirt, naked from the waist down. We didn't give him enough time to put his underwear or his shorts on, and he ran through the entire campground. I learned a phrase from my grandmother
that weekend. I had no idea what this meant, but naked as a jaybird. That's what she said about Joel, and I had to figure out what that was. Why are jaybirds naked? But anyways, yeah, it was fun experiences with Joel, but you know, when you were entrusted in my care, sometimes we wondered if you'd make it or not. That's true. But another one, you know, sometimes we weren't sure you were going to make it. In fact, we were talking earlier about, man, all the different times you almost drowned. I mean, my dad had to be the best swimmer in the world to keep you alive. I remember one canoe trip where we get in the water as a family. Joel's real little. Our raft that we were in flips over. We lose everything, you know. Everybody has corrective lenses, and so we lose like 6 pairs of glasses right there. And we're gathering everything together, and then my parents say, "Oh, where's Joel?" We're like, "Oh no!" And everybody's frankly searching the river, other adults, and sure enough, I think it was my dad, flips over the raft, and there's little Joel with eyes wide open, like, "What just happened to me?" I think he thought he went to the grave and back again. But we wondered if you were going to make it. But you know, there were other experiences. Like my parents got us boxing gloves as kids. I love this brother relationship, but you give 2 boys boxing gloves, and I remember at the very beginning, Joel was really little, like he couldn't box. And I remember just playing with him. It was so fun, bully big brother, hitting him in the arms, and there was Joel just with his hands up, and don't hit me. And I thought that was so fun. And Joel goes, "Stop, stop, stop." And so I stop and I drop my gloves. He says, "Time out." And then all of a sudden I feel his right hand go right through my nose. And he says, "Time in." And my nose just starts gushing with blood. And I wondered about Joel. I was like, wow, I think he's more clever than I thought. That's what I thought, that experience. But another time, a little later in his life, high school, Joel, if you know Joel, you know he's a big Lord of the Rings fan. And so I think, you know, when I went off to college and I came back, I would go down to our basement, which is a little bit like a cave, and I'd find Joel all the time watching the Lord of the Rings. He'd like get through the extended trilogy, Lord of the Rings, maybe 12 times a month. I don't know how he did it. He loved that movie. But the weirder thing was this, that the ring, you know, the one ring to rule them all, well, Joel would actually have that ring with him around his neck at all times. At all times. And he would take it out and he'd say, "My precious." And if you thought that Gollum was weird enough, sometimes we'd be wrestling around, horseplay, and then Joel would get you in a chokehold and you start saying, "My precious." You're like, what is going to happen to this kid when he grows up? He might be a psycho. But I think one of the reasons why you love Lord of the Rings, both the books, which you were way smarter than me. I didn't read the books, but I watched all the movies. One of the themes in the movies is the theme of friendship. Tolkien loved the idea of friendship. And if there's one thing that I have admired about you most, Joel, is not how many friends you have or how deep your friendships are, but how good of a friend you are to a variety of different people. And I say this about you. I look up to this in your life, the fact that you are a good friend in a lot of different ways. I see that in your life, your story, even the people that are represented here and how you love them. And I think there are a number of ways that God's taught you how to be a good friend over and over. I think patience is the one that comes to mind. You're very patient. You don't write people off easily. I tend to do that, right? But you don't. I think it's because you've been so patient with me, right? You had to deal with all my jokes, all my digs, right? Even now, it's like, but you're patient with me. I appreciate that so much. And I think your goodwill as a teacher, as a coach, the students you've been around, you wanted the best for people. And a lot of times we have agendas for people, and Joel, you really don't. You know, when you share words, they are so genuine because we think, man, he has my best in mind when he's saying that. I really appreciate that about you. And also loyalty is a part of that friendship that I think God's taught you. And I was kind of looking at our family like, who's loyal and what, how did Joel learn this? I I think maybe the family dogs have taught you loyalty. I admire it, and the kind of loyalty you show, I don't see very often. So, what I wanted to say is we are so happy for both of you. We are so excited. We're happy that we married you, Kierstin, as a family. And we want to say you're welcome to our family. We believe you're a really good thing for Joel. And Joel, I think you're a really good thing for Kierstin as well. We're behind you. We support you. And we also want to, especially from our family, we want to see you as your own family. Because today you became your own family. So we love you. And I want to encourage you, Joel. All those lessons that you learned about friendship, even some of the weird ones that you learned as God used me in your life and others, I want you to take all those lessons and I want you to invest them in Kierstin. Because before you today is the greatest opportunity of friendship that God will ever give you. And so I want to encourage you to love Jesus, pursue Him, but a lot of your relationship is going to be lived out with this best friend right here. And so use everything that you've already shown us, how God's grown you. With that being said, I want to say, raise a glass. If you've got a glass, raise a glass. This is. No, I know, caught you off guard. Here, you want some? To the bride and groom, may you abide in Jesus for joy, for friendship, and for God's glory. Amen.